The following is a Journey into Comics Network production. What's up, guys? Brando here, one of the EVPs of the Journey into Comics Network, podmaster, host extraordinaire of the Journey into Comics podcast, Journey to Wrestling, and the Game Addicts podcast, and you are listening to the best of the week. And what this show is, it's like a little bit of an appetizer of all the shows we have to offer here on the network. You get a best-of clip of every single show that airs throughout the week. So if it's your first time or you just want to relive some of your favorite segments, this is the place to be on this nice, lazy Sunday afternoon. So kick your feet up, relax. Unless you're driving, be safe. You don't want to kick your feet up if you're driving. And enjoy the best of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics. So we could talk about the movie going experience because there were some interesting things that happened. Conversations, people were nerding out all around us. The vibe was very energetic with nerddom and happiness and excitement for this movie.
Yeah, everybody was super jazzed to be there.
It was a very raucous crowd, though. Yeah,
it was hard to hear some of the, during the comedic parts when everybody was laughing. It was hard to pick up on any of the lines after.
And here's one thing but
it made it fun,
It was interesting, too, because every time one of the major characters made their first appearance on screen, the crowd popped.
Yeah. Everybody, you included, everybody was clapping.
Yeah.
And
you have to. When Wakanda showed up, I was like, there's Wakanda! Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, everybody was cheering.
The movie is...
That was a fun movie to go see, but it was definitely brutal, so be prepared for that.
Yeah, and it's weird because... And maybe, I don't know if I'm the darkness in me because of how much I love Thanos and his story. Seeing it a second time it solidified how much I believe in this movie. As first of all, it's the perfect Marvel movie because it ties so many. I mean, we'll get in again. No spoilers right now, but there are so many things they tie in across the board, across the whole spectrum of Marvel, from little one-liners that were said in other movies to major moments you never expected to happen to surprise appearances that blow your fucking mind. They hit it on the head. I feel like at this point, though, it would be silly to say a casual moviegoer wouldn't know what they were getting into. I don't think a casual moviegoer would go to see that with the expectation of knowing everything. They would almost just go, okay, let me get immersed in whatever the story is if they don't know the MCU.
Right, yeah, you don't have to have seen any of the other movies to, take away something from this movie.
Exactly, you could get lost in that story regardless of
it was
knowing the ins and outs. And I know that because Dad missed 3 of the most important Marvel movies.
Oh,
he missed Black Panther, he missed Civil War, and he missed Doctor Strange.
Oh, damn.
Now, they're all on me, obviously, because I'm the one that shows him stuff. But I thought he had told me he had seen Civil War, and I had thought we tried to watch Doctor Strange, and he just wouldn't get into it. He didn't believe that it was going to be an awesome movie.
Doctor Strange was an awesome movie.
It definitely starts slow, and then when it picks up...
And I love Doctor Strange in Infinity War.
Absolutely. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing. And that's another thing, too. They're so clever how they utilized that cast. And that's one thing, the way they orchestrate this movie is...
They've hit their stride, that's for sure.
But not only did they...
in their prime.
I mean, cinematic history, the way they told this narrative, it's never been done like that before on such a grandiose scale. I mean, the amount of star power in that movie. I mean, there was actually a surprise star that makes an appearance in that movie that... did no press for this movie, could not talk about his role or do anything of the like with this movie. And when you find out who it is, you're just like, what the... how in the... That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, raucous crowd, they're clapping and cheering and going crazy. But it was awesome. The whole experience was great. There was maybe 1 or 2 moments, there's the trailer moment, so this is not a spoiler, this is something people have seen. The trailer moment where Quill is talking to Tony.
Yeah.
And he goes, your plan is good, except it sucks, so maybe I should do the plan, and then it might be really good.
Right.
And the kids behind us were, loudly quoting it, and I was like, you're kind of taking me out of it, guys. Shut up. But I didn't want to snap at them because they were super cool before the movie, nerding out, and asking questions because it seemed like I knew what I was talking about, at least in some capacity. And, I'd given my loose opinions.
You being the social butterfly.
Yeah, well, that's who I am. But what do you think on the flip? I've called this movie essentially flawless in how it delivers its narrative and it serves a purpose and can be taken from any aspect. I also feel like it's safe to say that now there's not really many people out there, I think, that haven't seen the Marvel Universe. Like,
right. I mean, who hasn't seen Infinity War yet? I mean,
do you want the numbers before you give your review, or do you want the
actually,
review?
We haven't even talked about the numbers. You were telling me that this is like one of the biggest movies in history or something.
Let's bring up this historic shit, because this is like...
They beat all the records.
No. For most of this, they destroyed records. Some of it, they barely beat records. So it's very interesting. Okay, that's the international. I want the... All the records Infinity War has broken so far. Thanks so much to our friends over at comicbook.com for calling up this article where it's all the source material for all the news we want to cover. So let's break it down. It opened on Thursday, $39 million.
Opening night
On Thursday. The next night it does $106 million on Friday, opening day. Mm-hmm. 81 on Saturday and 61 on Sunday. So it hits $250 million domestic, beating The Force Awakens. The biggest, oh my God, Star Wars is coming back, man.
Right.
And Avengers just topped that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. So that's pretty incredible. But here's the full breakdown of everything they have done. To recap, Infinity War is now the record holder of biggest domestic opening of all time, biggest international opening of all time, biggest superhero opening of all time, biggest Saturday of all time in North America, biggest Sunday of all time in North America, biggest opening of all time in 7 other international markets, and it still is not yet released in the second largest market, China.
Oh, wow.
And Russia,
Damn.
which is the 14th largest market. So this movie is...
It's on track to make a fuck ton of money.
records away, before this is all said and done. And it received an A from CinemaScore. Rotten Tomatoes heralded it as certified fresh. It gets 89%. I don't think I've seen very many people say sour things about this movie. But the people that do, I want to just address this really quick. The people that do are kind of they seem like they're just haters because they don't say anything of substance, and then you substantiate and go, hey, what you're saying, I appreciate your opinion, but however, here's proof in the movie that what you're saying is definitely not true. Here's all this cool character building and backstory and where all this interconnectivity lies. And they go, oh, that's not true. That didn't happen in the movie at all. What? Now you're just talking crazy. You're not hearing what's actually going on, and that's you.
Hater's gonna hate.
Exactly. Hate is gonna hate. So anyways, are you a hater of this movie? What do you think?
Well, on that note, no, I'm not a hater on this movie. I enjoyed this movie. I'd see it again. I'd even go so far as saying I'd see it again in theaters, which I don't typically do.
I think we've done that we actually did it for Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. We did not do it for Last Jedi.
No.
I only saw that. Well, I saw it twice, but you did
I
not
only
see
saw
it
it
twice.
once. Yeah, well, get busy and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, I liked this movie. I would probably give it an A-.
An A-? Hell
yeah, it's getting the minus just because I felt like it was a little emotionally over the top, trying to manipulate, emotions, and it was just certain things were just okay, calm down, guys. It's getting a little cheesy, but I don't want to get into any spoilers.
Well, guess what?
Is it time?
Well, not for our listeners.
Okay.
Because now our listeners are going to be taken on a trip. They're going to be visited by the one and the only Andrew Puhr. He's going to take over for a few minutes. He's going to give his spoiler-free opinion as well. Then that's going to be followed up by our good friends, Mr. Tyler from Podcastrophe and the Podcast Menace, and our own, the Podmaster himself, co-founder of JIC, Brando.
Brando.
Okay. They're going to be talking about it as well. And then we will be coming back but we're actually going to just keep talking.
With our spoiler,
we'll come back.
Full rendition.
Hardcore spoilers,
All right.
all firing away here, folks. So, AP, go ahead and take it away.
So after coming out of my second screening of Avengers Infinity War, I finally am able to kind of put my thoughts together on how I felt about the film. And it's actually interesting in so many ways. It's able to take the individual aspects of all of the films that came before it and meld them together in a way that I think only the Russo brothers could pull off. The themes, the evolution of characters that were set in stone, especially the arc that Taika, I'm not going to pronounce it, the director of Thor Ragnarok, what he established for Chris Hemsworth's Thor going into Thor Ragnarok and then coming out of it into Infinity War. He really, I think, if you didn't have Thor Ragnarok in there, Infinity War would have suffered immensely.
From the suburbs of Chicago and Illinois, this is The Puhr Report with your host, Andrew Puhr.
And the one for today is actually not one that I even talked about before on this show. It's one that actually came about last Tuesday, which was the day the episode on Barbara Bush dropped. My fiance Liz and I were attending a book event with Gillian Flynn and Patton Oswalt. And I went mainly because I am a big Patton Oswalt fan. I've always loved his stand-up, and I've been following him on Twitter for a number of years now, and I learned that his wife was a true crime writer and has been doing a ton of research about some stuff that's been going on lately, and I apologize for that. My cat said it knocked over their food container and fell over the floor. So that's a lot of fun, but I digress. So on Tuesday night, there was a book event in Naperville, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago for those of you who don't listen in the States, or from Illinois or Indiana, or that a lot of people from the network. So we were attending this book event, and it was about Patton Oswalt's wife, Michelle McNamara's book on the Golden State Killer. The Golden State Killer was a killer who terrorized California over a decade in the 70s, causing numerous deaths. He had something like, I have the information in my article, but it's something like 50 rapes and 12 murders over the course of his time, and it was kind of a crazy event. There was obviously Gillian Flynn, who wrote The Gone Girl and Sharp Objects and a couple of those books in that series, which I really enjoyed reading. The Gone Girl, saw the movie. It obviously didn't hold a candle to the book, like all books, but it was a really interesting night. I learned a lot about this killer and the people that were involved in seeing this book, not just Michelle McNamara, but the two researchers that she worked with, who unfortunately I don't remember their names. Ended up following them on Twitter because it led to a very interesting story that happened just the night after, between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. California police may have caught the Golden State Killer based on DNA evidence, and I'll get into this all in the article, but going from hearing about a book about a person I knew nothing about by an author that I knew nothing about other than the fact that she was married to Patton Oswalt, and then the tragedy of her death 2 years ago due to some undiagnosed heart condition and sleep disorder, and just the stress of this research that unfortunately left Patton Oswalt a widower and left their daughter without a mother. And it was a tragic story, but that it had such an interesting ending when you see that, like, within 24 hours of this event, there was a person in custody that they believe is linked, and there's a lot of information, and then there's going to be a trial and all of this, and it seems like they might finally have justice for all these people, and the research that Michelle McNamara did finally feels validated, and it helped keep the story in the public eye. And I really am just going to jump into the articles now so I can give you really updated information. So first, I have 4 articles like I usually do for the Puhr 4 segment to go through, and this is from Rolling Stone. It says, Golden State Killer, Patton Oswalt on Michelle McNamara catching a serial killer. Patton Oswalt has had an insane 2 days, but really the insanity began years ago. Michelle McNamara, his investigative journalist wife, died unexpectedly in 2016, leaving the actor, comedian, a single father, and leaving her life's work unfinished. Then Oswalt, along with a couple of McNamara's colleagues, Billy Jensen and Paul Haynes, those were the guys at the event, completed I'll Be Gone in the Dark, her gripping, obsessive true crime book about a monster she had dubbed the Golden State Killer. McNamara had faith that the man who was responsible for 12 murders and more than 50 rapes would eventually be brought to justice, and she was convinced that old DNA evidence the crimes took place between 1976 and 1986, coupled with new technology, would play a key role in ending the story. This week, on the very day that an HBO documentary series based on her book began filming, and almost exactly 2 years to the day of after her death, the HBO documentary was actually kicked off at that book event I was at, so I may be in the background of an HBO documentary, which is kind of cool. So McNamara might have been proved right. The alleged killer, Joseph James D'Angelo, was arrested and charged with 2 of the murders, and authorities have reportedly linked him to the rest via DNA evidence using information from a commercial online genealogy database, according to the New York Times. It was almost exactly as she predicted. As Haynes and Jensen wrote in the book, the idea that the answer to this mystery is probably hiding in the database of a 23andMe and Ancestry.com kept Michelle up at night. Early the morning after the arrest, Oswald's phone began to light up as the news broke. He caught a plane to New York, where an appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers gave the slightly bewildered comic a chance to process some of his emotions and pay tribute to McNamara. Rolling Stone caught up with him just after he landed back home in Los Angeles on Thursday. He was exhausted, slightly jubilant, and a bit stern, sometimes all in the same sentence. An understandable combination of emotions considering the particularly unusual web he crawled through in 48 hours. This is kind of some context from the interview. Can you walk me through what your day was like on Wednesday when the news first broke that an arrest had been made? I kind of tweeted all out Tuesday. I was in Chicago doing a book event, which was also being filmed for this HBO documentary. The whole family was there. We talked about the book, talked about the case. Me, Billy Jensen, Paul Haynes, one of us said, time's running out for this guy. We went to bed around 11, then Wednesday morning around 4 a.m., texts start pinging in. They caught the guy, it seems real. The rest of the day was airport New York interviews, calling people, answering texts, you can imagine. Before the arrest, did you actually feel like things were closing in, the time was running out for the killer? I didn't feel like things were closing in at all. I was just being hopeful about it. I didn't have any information or intuition about anything. At the press conference announcing Joseph D'Angelo's arrest, a reporter asked whether Michelle's book had anything to do with the case being solved, and the answer from authorities was essentially that no, it hadn't. People on Twitter, including you, feel it's not entirely true. In your mind, what did Michelle's work do to help bring him to justice? It put way more light and attention on this case. Even though she passed away, there were suddenly news reports about it. 48 Hours did a piece after she passed away, and there was a lot more activity on the message board, so of course it increased attention. I'm not trying to minimize the work of the police and the investigators at all. I know what they went through. Michelle was interviewing those guys for years. She knew the decades of frustration, but I certainly think that the book helped. In a Los Angeles magazine article from 2013 about the case, Michelle wrote that naming these types of killers was important to catching them. Marketing matters, she wrote, and she coined the name Golden State Killer, for a person who had been called a lot of confusing names up until that point. It's important to have an evocative name that lands, rather than a mishmash of acronyms, which is going to happen in a case that's this long, and happening in that many jurisdictions where they don't share information. They didn't know these crimes were linked by DNA until the 90s when DNA testing came out. So there are a whole bunch of reasons that end up having the names that he had that were trying to get the East Area Rapist, things going again at the press conference, but it quickly turned into Golden State Killer, because that's what everyone knows him as now. And that's the name Michelle gave him. Did Michelle have any private theories about who the killer might be that she didn't feel comfortable putting in the book? I don't think she was comfortable with theories. She wasn't going to say a theory unless she had the facts to back it up. She had some wide-ranging ideas of what his profession might be, but as far as a specific person, no, she didn't like to speculate. She wanted facts before she moved. You mentioned a couple times that you might want to meet D'Angelo at some point. I'm certainly not a courageous man. I would just bring the question that she has at the end of her book and just ask him those. If that ever happened, it would happen years down the line. This guy's got to go through trials, but it would be nice to get answers to those questions. I'm not bloodthirsty. I don't want to gloat or gawk at this guy. If an opportunity came up, I would certainly take it just for her sake. I assume this development is going to completely change the scope of the HBO documentary. It's a completely different storyline now. We don't know which way it's going to go. We were going to talk about that next week. We have no idea. That was the first day of filming, the day before he got caught. It's going to become very interesting. What, if anything, does your daughter Alice know about all this? I haven't told her yet. I've been traveling, and I don't want to tell her over FaceTime or email. She's 9. I'll probably tell her tomorrow in the afternoon. I'm going to pick her up from school, and we'll talk. She knew what Michelle did, but tomorrow I can lay some stuff out. When she's older, much older, she can read the book and see that her mom was kind of a hero. She was the voice for the voiceless. How do you think Michelle would have reacted to the news? I would never insult her by trying to predict what her reaction would be. She was way too complex a person for me to do that. That was one of the reasons I loved her so much. She was so unpredictable. She would have had 50 different emotions every minute. What about you? How would you describe your emotions over the past couple of days? I know that in a couple of days I'm still in sleep-deprived, numb, exhilarated mode. I honestly don't know. I'll know in a few days. And then it ends with, I'll call you back in a few days then. And then he says, okay, follow up. And that was the Rolling Stone article.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
I'm your host, Nate. Today joining me, as always, co-founder of Foodies Watching Movies, Veronica. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
It's great. It's a lovely Earth Day afternoon here.
Yes, happy Earth Day.
Although, by the time people are hearing it, it's actually May.
Yeah, we're time traveling again.
We're doing that time travel jazz. But, of course, welcoming back to the show our other co-host of Foodies Watching Movies, Lauren. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Fuck yeah, I'm glad to have you back on the show.
Yeah, I've been hanging out with you guys for like the past 3 days.
I know, it's a new record.
She's not annoyed with us yet.
Give it time.
We've done well.
Also joining us today for the first time ever is our dear friend, Mr. Andrew Uhas. How's it going?
It's going great, and thank you for having me on here. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Andrew works in the movie theater industry, and we thought it would be really fun for you to come up and, hang out with us and do a podcast. So I'm happy to have you.
Happy to be on.
How's your weekend been up here?
Well, obviously, it's been amazing because, whenever I see these guys, I just feel in my element, and we've had so much fun hanging out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff. We watched a lot of movies. We've eaten a lot of food. Mm-hmm. We've had a very productive weekend.
Yeah, wow. It started Thursday, which was at that point my birthday. Mm-hmm. You got up here relatively late, which was more like a, hey, we're so glad you're here. Let's all go to sleep now. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're over 30. It's past 1. It's time for bed.
Yeah.
Of course, then the following Friday, we hung out all day. We got to see a lot of different people, had a little get-together. Mm-hmm. Lauren came over. Our friend Mandy came over. It was great times, man.
Yeah, nice little party.
So, Andrew, right out the gate, you're new to podcasting, first of all. This is your first soiree into it.
First ever.
Okay. So, what's the most random thing you could ever say on a podcast? And go.
Oh, no. And the brain freeze.
Oh, man, that was
mind
so
block.
mean.
I was just trying to see if he was going to be spontaneous on that. It's okay. You don't have to go there yet. Just at some point, drop a random on me. Okay?
I'll do it. I'll mull on it.
Anyways, where do we want to start, I guess?
Well, I guess we could talk about yesterday. Andrew wanted to go to the Albanese Candy Factory before we hit up the movie theater, obviously. And that was pretty fun. I had never been there before. Like, I've only been to the little outlet where, you get, like, just half the experience.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really insane. Honestly, I'm going to say I didn't really like going there just because there were so many people. It was really overwhelming, and, like, people were in my personal space to the point where I wasn't comfortable, all fighting over chocolates and gummies and candies, and there was a lot of waiting, and I guess it all ended happily because I got like $60 worth of fucking candy.
Right?
Yeah, so there were a lot of candies purchased yesterday. Is the second time you've been to Albany's?
Yes.
What was your experience like this time?
Well, the thing is, this time it was, as Veronica said, it was a lot more hectic because the first time I went, I distinctly remember there not being that many people, and so I really had the whole store to myself, so to speak, well, ourselves. But this time it was way more crowded. People were kind of trying to bulldoze right through me, which that's cool. But I distinctly remember though the Albanese workers, they were very helpful and very knowledgeable, so I really liked that part.
Yeah, everybody that worked there was pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they did a great job of helping us and, being really kind. Lauren, have you ever been to Albany's?
Mm-hmm.
You
I've
liked
been there.
it?
I've been there years ago. Me and my friend Val, we got high and then we went to Albany's.
Did you
What a
spend
day.
entirely too much money, or was it all free samples?
I believe we spent quite a bit of money, each of us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's your go-to pick when you go there?
Anything with chocolate and peanut butter.
Fair.
That's what Andrew liked. You got the peanut butter pretzel cups or something, right?
Yeah.
I got chocolate
Dark
covered
chocolate.
gummy
What are
bears.
those dark chocolate peanut butter meltaways?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
Those are
slide one
amazing.
too. Does everybody want one?
I
right
don't
now?
want one. I'm not a
You
big
want?
dark
Yeah.
chocolate
Yes,
fan.
please. Sure.
Thank you.
I somewhat just tolerate
I'll have
chocolate.
I knew you would, because of course they're delicious.
I
I don't
kind of
wanna
want
have
my
one.
fruit slices though.
You want some fruit slices?
That's my go-to when I go to Albany's. I always get the little tiny slices of fruit gummy things.
Those
they're
things.
just called Albany's fruit slices, and they're my fucking jam.
They have Tootsie Rolls there or something similar to Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, they've got the multicolored ones.
Yeah.
I like those.
I remember those fruit slices. The texture is what got me.
Yeah, these
I-
are fucking delicious. Does anybody want to try one? Or are you into your chocolates?
I'll give it a moment.
Okay.
My mouth is overwhelmed with dark chocolate right now, which is not a bad thing.
This is incredible. Peanut buttery, dark chocolatey, just perfection. On the flip side, what is not perfection? Lauren, I don't know if you saw this or not. I'm throwing Mentos under the fucking bus right now because
Uh-oh.
fuck them. Just for this one,
I love Mentos.
they're what flavor? They're caramel mint.
Caramel mint?
Mentos.
Caramel
Mentos.
mint Mentos.
Yep.
That sounds kind of horrific
I'll
to
let
me.
you stew on that if that's something you want to try. I wouldn't recommend it.
Of course I don't want to try this. Why would I want to try this?
For sport.
Especially after you just said what you said about it.
Filled with mint dark chocolate.
I don't
By
think that sounds good.
the fresh maker.
Mentos better, Mentos fresher. I don't want one. They sound horrible.
Let me just say, I was trying to compose myself, so sorry.
What it is.
The Mentos. I want to talk about the flavor. It's really the most bizarre thing you can imagine. Because you're eating this caramel thing, and you're like, oh, it's caramel, cool. And then you start to bite into it, and you're like, but mint? What?
It's a caramel filled with mint dark chocolate, not dark chocolate, mint dark chocolate filled with caramel.
Right. It's a caramel filled with mint chocolate.
That's very strange. Why wouldn't they do it the other way around?
Do you need to try one and find out?
She does. She's looking at it like, fuck, what do I do here?
Do it.
Do it. Peer pressure is the thing.
Personally,
I
it just
double dare you.
to me it just tastes like a Tootsie Roll with you take a bite into it like, oh, there's the mint cream, but that's all it tastes like to me. But it's Tootsie Roll filled with mint cream.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
I don't like Tootsie Rolls.
No.
I do.
I like the multicolored ones, and that's
The
it.
fruitsies.
Because they're more like taffy, I like
Oh
taffy.
yeah, they are.
I love Tootsie Rolls.
I'm going to try
Ooh,
this.
you do love Tootsie Rolls. We've talked about this
Ooh, then
before.
you might need to try
You got gifted with a giant bag of fucking Tootsie Rolls from Labor Day or something.
No, it was Halloween.
Halloween, yeah, Halloween.
Because we had, didn't we have 2 big ass bags of them,
Yeah.
still unopened, and we gave you a whole bag. Just
Yeah.
take it.
I brought it home with me, and I emptied it into this big serving bowl that I had. This big white
Nice.
punch bowl that a ceramic bowl that I had, and it stayed in there for maybe a month or so.
Easy to do though, just picking away and snacking here and there. I'm gonna try this orange. What is this mini orange slice?
Yeah, it's just a little fruit slice, and that flavor is
I
orange.
feel like Paul Rudd. Does anybody have any orange slices from Civil War?
These are the mini ones. I also got a small bag of the larger ones, which were my OG favorite, my original favorite. And they didn't have very many, so I got what was left, which was only maybe 4 or 5.
You know what I genuinely appreciate about those? They don't stick to your teeth.
No.
They're easy to chew.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't feel like you need to brush your teeth right after you eat these.
Yeah.
And the texture is really cool. I like it.
But the orange flavor was kind of weak as fuck for me. Maybe it's all
Well,
the other
you got to try
flavors
one of the
going
bigger
on.
ones. I'll go grab the bigger ones. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. Anyways, so did we really dive into your movie history? You're a big movie dude.
Love movies.
Favorite movie all time?
Kill Bill.
Favorite comedy of all time?
That's actually, it's a tie.
Okay, bring on the tie.
It's honestly a tie between Mean Girls and Bridesmaids because it's so quotable.
Man, Bridesmaids is fucking hilarious.
No, Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls is where it's at. I love Mean
I knew
Girls.
he was
Right.
gonna-
My sister and I love Mean Girls.
Of course,
Yeah.
you guys do.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Okay, I found these big fruit slices.
Okay, so you're bringing out the big dogs.
And then the texture on those bigger slices,
Should I just like
it's
break
even
a piece
better.
off? And that looks like an actual piece of like
right?
lemon.
These lemon ones are like a little,
Thank you.
a little harder.
But
Okay.
I like that texture.
Mm-hmm.
I love this.
Yeah, these ones are good. The watermelon ones are really good.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, I really love the lemonade flavored ones, but they were totally out of them. So whatever.
That's really
Wow.
good.
I first had these like at this candy store in my hometown,
That's good.
but it closed. And then I saw them again years later at like Six Flags,
Nice.
like the sweet shop at Six Flags. And I would get it every time I'd go there because they're so good.
My vote is yes. They are very good.
We're gonna fuck the sodomites in the...
Oh, that's a good one. I want to start the show off by we have a longtime fan of the show, usually here every episode, and she's not in our chat right now, I don't believe. So she can't defend herself, and that's her fault. She
This is
should've-
perfect time. Perfect time.
Perfect time. Longtime giant fan of the show. I'd say third biggest fan of the show, Miss Jennifer Wheeler. We work with her, as most fans, anybody who listens to the show knows, and we usually respond to her in the chat. We work with her. We found out a very important thing, very funny, stupid thing about her today. In her 31 years of life, I actually ran to her today from where I was and asked her how old she was, just so I could use it against her today.
All right.
I was like, Jennifer, how old are you? I was like, you're 31, right? She looks at me and knows exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, she goes, yes. I was like, okay, bye. Ran back. And so I run back and continue on my day. So here we are. And I'm about to drop a bombshell on everybody. Jennifer, in 31 years of life, did not know that Alaska was attached to Canada.
She thought it was an island.
She thought it was an island.
Oh, like the inset maps where everything's down at the bottom, like Hawaii and Alaska, are down at the bottom of the map.
Yeah.
She never explained why she thought it was an island.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, that was one of my theories. But she asked somebody like, how do people get to Alaska? Is there like a bridge? And someone responded, yeah, it's called Canada.
Without missing a beat. Without missing a beat. Without thinking about it. Without.
And she told me this. She told me this saying she asked somebody else, and then she brought this to me, and I'm like, what the fuck, Jennifer?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, so
Be normal gay.
that's that.
I don't even know this person, but I'll join you guys in making fun of her.
This just goes to show how fucking worthless our public education system is.
To be fair, she went to Brookston.
That's irrelevant. Our public education system is fucking retarded. You know,
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 27. Or I'm getting ready to be 27.
You're getting ready to be 27, Dick.
I'm 27, gonna be 28 later this year.
Okay, so I'm older than all of you guys, and I mean we still had globes. So
I saw a globe once.
yeah, you saw a globe once.
I might have
I
even
think we
touched
had
it.
them too. I'm thinking about it.
The reason I say that, and I'm the king of unpopular opinions and things that piss people off.
You are good at that.
My personal opinion is that teachers are the most overpaid people in the history of the workforce.
It depends.
Overpaid?
Overpaid.
Really?
And I'll tell you why I think that. They get more paid days off and more excused absences, or just days off in general, than anyone else in the world. They get more. I don't feel like going to work today. All right, we'll call in a substitute teacher. No problem. And when the way that I view just life in general, time is worth more than money, because money is an abstract concept anyway. It's an imaginary thing. And especially when we don't have any standard to hold that money against. But time is something that is limited. You have a limited amount of time. So when you are given the freedom to utilize the small amount of time that you have more so than anybody, that's worth more than money as far as I'm concerned. Now, I will agree that they're underpaid in regards to the job that they do, but as a whole, they're the most overpaid people.
You think they have better benefits than they necessarily should because of the paid time off?
Correct.
I like that you brought up the lack of gold or silver standard in something that was totally not related at all. I think that's hilarious.
He's good at that.
I appreciate
that. But they're both abstract things that aren't really defined by anything.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
So that's kind of interesting that they have a relationship at all. But, I mean, that's just because humans are fucked up.
Yes,
stupid.
we are. We are 100% fucked up. I'm not going to ramble about a lot.
I think a lot of the problem with school in general now is the focus on standardized testing.
That is definitely a big.
It's not about.
issue.
It's not about learning. It's about cranking out test scores, cranking out graduates.
And it was slowly working its way that way when my sister was in school. She's a few years older than me, and it was more intensive when I was in school. And I'm sure you guys are like 5 years behind me, so it was more like that then, and it's even more focused now, where curriculum is only about getting good I-steps or whatever your state's
fuck I-step
fucking standardized testing is.
I think it's still I-step.
I mean, that's Indiana. I'm just saying.
Okay.
If there's anybody that listens to this that isn't, from Lafayette.
I'm a firm believer that you go to school not to learn. You go to school to learn to be compliant.
Yeah. To know how to answer the right questions
Correct.
with the right answer, yeah.
And there's a lot of fucked up stuff about school that people don't realize. Like, do you know why they teach math in school? This is psychology for you. There is literally only one reason that you learn math in your lifetime.
Go for it.
It is the only thing you learn that literally makes you increase the size of your brain matter. It makes your brain grow in size. Nothing else that you learn makes your brain grow in size. Math is the only thing.
Interesting. And that's really cool for me to hear. My grandpa was the head of the math department in Delphi for 30 years. So
math, bro.
Math.
Yeah, like I hate the fact that it's not about learning. It's about fucking just you're learning to get a good test score. You're not learning to actually learn. And that sucks.
Well, and
that sucks.
Part of the reason I have such a
hold on. So that being said, teachers, some of them, not all, are just there to do that. They're just there to help up that test score for your
and
school.
They're there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, and
first and foremost, teachers are there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, but I mean, there are teachers out there that are like they care about their job. They care about teaching what their subject is.
But I think that's a lot like any job, really. I mean, we all have that where there's people that are just there going through the motions to collect a paycheck, no matter what the job is, and there are people that actually give a shit about whether they do their job right or well, or how the company does.
Just like me, like I am at Subaru because I love sealing cars. Like
You're a fucking idiot.
It is my life's passion.
Yeah, you probably make like half again as much as me and care like a third as much as I do about my job, but
approximately 30%.
Yeah, approximately.
That's the issue. I mean, we've all been through the public education system. We've all had very good teachers that go above and beyond to help people. And I don't want to say that are learning challenged, but everybody learns shit different.
Yes.
And it's very easy to see the teachers that put in the time to actually teach people stuff and the teachers that put in the time to collect a paycheck. And unfortunately, my experience with the education system was more so teachers just collecting a paycheck. And, I'm sure that my opinion was a little bit skewed because of my attitude. And it's not me tooting my own horn. A lot of times I was sitting in class and I could have been teaching the class because of the subject matter that they were teaching, which 90% of it is bullshit. So I had a bad attitude out of the gate. And then you get somebody that doesn't give a fuck about what they're up there talking about. Well, I'm going to challenge you because you're supposed to give a shit and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of issues everywhere. Like always, like I said, I have the unpopular opinion. It's an opinion that you don't hear very often.
And most people would say the opposite of what you just said about teachers.
And I'm so anti-conformity that, it just fuels, I would almost say my bias on that opinion that much more because...
But I like the way that you didn't say they were overpaid with like actual currency.
They're definitely not overpaid with money.
You said they were overpaid with time.
Yes.
And you're right, nail on the head. Nail on the head.
Before we get too deep down the rabbit hole, we should probably introduce our guests.
No, it's fine.
The
I
people
like
have been
being
talking. They've been talking and everything. We got Ryan.
I haven't said shit. So
Ryan Lewis.
Ryan Lewis. Yeah, I drew a blank on your name, and then
that's fine.
Shane back here.
You can just call me Puddin'.
Vocalist and
I like
bassist
that.
for
I like that.
the band Only Human.
Good luck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your host, Brando. Joining me here today, once again, as player 2, is my buddy, Tyler.
Hey, dude. I'm back again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you are back again. And we actually had a plan, and I threw that plan completely out the window. We were going to talk about Metal Gear, and that was it today, but there was just so much stuff to talk about, and we've sort of, I've decided to shift the release schedule to every other week for the time being until we can get back into the full groove of things, and a lot of stuff's been going down. A lot of stuff's been happening. E3's right around the corner. A lot of rumors and innuendo. And then also we had the release of a really big game for the PS4 and God of War, which I actually did end up purchasing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, so guys, and to be fair, you did too.
I got the game. You went way above what I did. You got something that I really wanted.
Okay. So guys, I don't know if I said it in the last episode. I've been having issues with my PS4 wanting to turn on. That's a problem. And mine's a launch model. I got it on the launch night. I told the story here before. And we would have it off. You would go up there. You would either hit the button on the controller, or you would, the original launch models were touch. You go back there. It's not a button. It's like you rub your finger on it. And it would beep, flash blue, off, and then it wouldn't respond. It'd be dead. So you'd have to unplug it, wait, plug it back in, try it again, and literally Walking Dead finale night, we were going to watch it on View, and spent 40 minutes messing with that thing, trying to get it turned on. Finally, it turned on, booted up. It checked the memory because it shut down wrong. I'm like, what has been going on with this thing? And since we have a kid, we watch Netflix and movies all day on that damn thing.
Right.
So it's been getting more use than the PS3 did when I had it. I didn't have a kid. I use it a lot, but also it wasn't going all day. So I was thinking to myself, well, I need to get a new PS4 at some point, but the PS5 is coming out. Can it hold out? And then I moved the PS3 back there, and it worked for a while. It still plays stuff fine, but its internet connection is shit. And even when it's plugged in, dude, I was getting at max 10 to 11 when it's hardlined.
That sucks.
And when my download goes up to 80. Yeah, I've had my download over 100 once. I was like, whoa! And I'm like, is that? No, it's not KB. It's MB. All right. I'm just double checking. But no, I was getting, at lowest, I got like a 1, and HBO wouldn't play.
That's always really frustrating when you test the internet connection, especially on my PlayStation. You know, I've also have a launch model, and I've had some of the same issues that you have. I'm in that Type 2 NAT restriction that even though I shouldn't have a restricted NAT, my PlayStation has somehow hard locked itself into Type 2 NAT connection. So every now and then, even if I pay for 200 internet, so I'm getting fucking 200 megs, and I'll speed test my shit and it's fine, and then I'll test it on the PlayStation and it's like 30.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What's going on here, you know? So believe me, I understand. I've had a lot of the same issues with my launch model as well.
But like on my PS4, hardlined, it's no problem. But on the PS3, I when it can't play HBO, that's Sesame Street.
Right.
Kids ask for Sesame Street, and I can't play Sesame Street. Trying to load up like YouTube, it wouldn't load up thumbnails.
Really?
Yeah, it would play the videos fine, but it wouldn't load up thumbnails. Trying to watch the WWE Network, there's a podcast I listen to has a video version that's on there.
Mm-hmm.
They're a third party. They were able to get their show on there. You know, it's like, wow, that's awesome. So I watched the first episode when it came out, and I wanted to watch the second one. With the way that network works when it's streaming, when it buffers into a higher or lower resolution, it will actually go back like 10 seconds.
So you don't lose any of the stuff while it's buffering?
Yes. So that's just in case. So imagine trying to watch this in the first 5 minutes, and every minute or 30 seconds it keeps. I feel like I'm taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back here to watch this damn thing. I'm
right.
Getting, and I got tired of it, and I still haven't watched it. But I got home on Thursday night last week, and so she's like, yeah, I can't watch HBO. And so we've just been watching like Blu-rays all day. And she goes, even the Blu-rays aren't wanting to load. Like they're taking forever. And I'm just like, old girl's on her last legs, man. I'm going to have to get a new PS3 to play my collection here soon. Because like when I play it, I don't play it very often anymore. It's very random. But usually it's like it's good enough to play. But like I'm like sitting there, I'm thinking about getting a new PS4. I don't really want it to pay for it right now. And then she goes, well, we end up she's pretty much begrudgingly telling me I can get one maybe. So I start looking at it, and the 500 gigabyte PS4s are like $260 something, maybe $270. I can't remember. But the 1 terabytes were like $350 almost. It was like, man, more than what I thought. All right, because at Walmart they were like $350, $360, and a Pro is $400. And I'm like, if I'm gonna get a new one, I'm getting a terabyte of hard drive space because I'm already struggling with my launch model. It's full.
You never upgraded it?
No, I never upgraded it. I was going to like the last 2 tax messes, and I just didn't. I ran out of
the
funding.
First year that I had mine, as soon as I was dicking around on Amazon one day, and I saw one of the kits that people were putting together, where it came with the screwdriver, the particular screwdriver size that you need, and a nice Samsung terabyte hard drive and everything. Well, looks like this is what I'm buying. It was only like $100, barely more than the hard drive cost. So
yeah,
that was something that I did almost immediately.
Yeah, I never did it, and it wasn't a problem for a while, and then it became a problem. You know, when you have a game the size of like Metal Gear and GTA 5, you're going to be kind of surprised by the size of my biggest game on there, WWE 2K17. but it's because of all the creation components. You can go online and download other people's creations, their guys, their arenas. You can do custom images uploaded, so people will upload their own custom images. You can do your own stuff. There was this computer booking game that I played where I made my own company, so I went into Photoshop and made my own logos and did all this stuff. So I decided to make physical versions of that stuff in that game. So I went to my own logos, got all them remade, put them into the game, so I can start making my arenas and what that would look like up here in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I went hog wild. So there's a reason why the space got so overdone on that. But I'm like, yeah, if I'm going like to the point where I'm only going to be spending $40 more to get I'm just going to get a Pro at that point. You know, when I do get a 4K TV, I'll be ready. And then even they say it enhances already 1080p.
It definitely does
Yeah.
upscale it.
So it's like cool. And I just looked on Walmart.com and they had the God of War bundle, and they said it was available. I'm like, well, if I'm buying one anyway, I get the game for free, and I get a custom looking system.
Mm-hmm.
Went out there, they had it, got it. So here I'm walking out, going. So yeah, I just did a thing that was not planned today. That is the first time I've ever went out and on a whim and did that. I've always sort of planned it out when I'm going to buy a new console or anything like that. So yeah, no, I got the system, I got the game. I had some issues with the system, guys, though. I tried to get everything transferred over, and I realized that was going to take me 9 hours, so I canceled it. And then I just did my game saves and like my themes and stuff like that. Got that over, man, and then I moved it out, and then I couldn't get the damn thing. It said it cannot start PS4. Reinstall the update.
Welcome to Butt Stuff. Live!
Live edition.
What?
Live edition.
A live edition. 'Tis our farewell show. Oh, are we passing the Night King around? See, I don't need a lighter because I come prepared.
Oh, well then I guess we'll just leave this in our common area because I do not come prepared.
I sort of feel like I'm going to slice the fuck out of myself. Even though, realistically, I know that it's not actually sharp. But I am probably about to die.
It does look like rock candy and it's glorious. So...
Yes. We're playing What Do You Meme? 7 cards, yeah.
I thought it was 10, but I don't know. It might be
I think
7.
it's 7 because it's different from Cards Against Humanity, and
True,
that's 10.
okay, yes, that's what I'm thinking of. I've played a lot of Cards Against Humanity in my days.
Okay. So, did your phone disconnect from the video? Because it's just me watching now.
Well,
right.
I'll start.
Wait, we can invite people, yeah?
You should.
Hi, Nate.
Natykins.
Natykins. Okay. There we go. I shared it in our group.
Good. These are great cards.
Oh god.
An upset cat.
An upset cat?
We have an upset cat.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, was that barfing I heard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Red alert.
Typically in our house that is preceded by like every time. If you've never played before.
Was that so Patty wouldn't eat the barf?
Yes. Holy ew.
Because that's what dogs do.
Yeah.
You turn over one of these fine meme cards.
It's upside down to the
Yeah, it is. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, you turn over a card, and then you figure out a caption for that meme. The Podfather is here to bless this live pod. Peace be with you.
It's not very blessed so far. Try better. Try a little harder, Nate.
Joanna's cleaning up cat puke. Bless her.
First thing.
Bless your heart.
Okay.
I need to read my cards now, okay?
Okay. I'm back.
Oh, I love this game. No offense to Cards Against Humanity, but this one is like my new favorite.
It's very relatable.
Are we all three playing, or is somebody like the reader?
Oh no, I figured we'd do in rounds like we normally do.
Okay, so should I not play in this time?
Well, I flipped the card over.
Oh.
I'm just looking through my cards. So
Oh,
you can.
well, there you go.
Shit, we're playing.
We're doing the damn thing.
Do
Well,
the damn thing.
I need to look at him. Sorry, people.
Sorry. Yikes. That card. Wow. I can't wait to play them.
I haven't read through them all, but that's what we're going.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a hit and then judge. So. I should probably share on Instagram. Yeah?
Yeah.
That would be wise.
Oh, I forgot to draw a new card.
Oh no! Come watch us live on Facebook. We are playing What Do You Mean?
I ruined the background music, background sound of that one by shouting.
You shouted? When did this happen?
It wasn't really that loud, but...
Because I didn't hear it at all. You're on my good side.
Oh wait, can we do the thing where we swipe up to link? Does that work on here? I have no idea how to do it, and now is not the time to learn. Your story. Done. Hooray, okay. I am so far beyond good. Because before you got here, I had a brownie and a cookie.
I had a
Oh, you brought cookies?
I brought 2 cookies.
I ate
and
one.
was going to eat them myself and gave one to Julia.
I see how it is.
Okay. When you're ordering a pizza and your broke friend screams, "Get wings too." It me. When you show up on a blind date and they're wearing a fedora. Oh no. That wins because it would be awful.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, we're just starting in here and I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, that's a good policy.
Yeah.
Is it? Am I going?
The box is here.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay, hang on. I gotta pull up Facebook again.
Now I can read my cards.
Oh yeah. Read through those bitches. The little smack is so satisfying.
When you look at your boyfriend after watching The Notebook and realize he's not Ryan Gosling. When you think you've been charging your phone for the last 3 hours but it wasn't plugged in. That one.
Oh. I would have questioned some things if you had picked mine, because I was like, I got nothing.
Oh my goodness. Oh yes, classic.
Oh, yes.
Give me your best.
I guess. don't know.
All right, let's see what we got. When you're trying to relax, but you can't stop thinking about how ugly you are. Oh gosh. I don't even know if I can read this. When your fart smells gourmet. Take it.
Yeah. I did not expect that at all. At all.
Mine was just truthful.
That layer of disgusting. I
was like, the fuck do I have?
I would cry if I thought that as well.
Very distressed looking chihuahua.
Oh, I thought it was because we both ate brownies today.
What?
I thought it was because he looks high.
Oh. I don't think, it's not a stoner card.
Yeah.
We do have this stoner pack mixed in. Someone named Alan likes your posters. Alan! 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 It's not Alan.
I have great
Steve!
posters.
Steve! Okay. When your friends want to split it evenly, but you only had an appetizer. When she tweets, my stomach hurts, and you can't remember if you pulled out or not.
Oh no.
Is it backwards for everybody? Because it looks backwards on the camera, and that would be very unfortunate.
Hope you guys can learn to read backwards.
I don't know who got an appetizer. Of course you played that card. I was like, that sounds like something Gretchen would do.
Why, of course?
I don't understand. Oh, this is from the stoner pack. I was like, holy fuck, but I was covering up this. I was like, it's not. Wait. That was very confusing.
Oh my god.
It's time for Brews with Dudes. Ah, juicy. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It doesn't matter when you're listening. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brews with Dudes. I'm your host, Nick Maxon, sitting here with a plethora of folks. All right, I'm going to start with Mr. Zach Davidson to my right. How are you doing, Zach?
I am fantastic, as always. Thank you.
Good to see you again. Jess is here. She's going to be kind of just lurking in the background, but she definitely wants to try some of the Berliner Weisses that we've got. How you doing, Jess?
I'm good. Thanks.
Awesome. Austin, how are you doing over there?
Feeling good.
Good. Brett?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good, man.
I'm also a little tired.
It's been a long day.
It's already been a long day.
It's been a great day.
And we've got Caleb back again. How are you doing, Caleb?
Hey, I am what the kids call groovy.
Good to hear. So, before we get going on one of our epic rambles, let's talk about the beer that we've got in our hand. It's the Pineapple Express Slurpee. It's a smoothie-style Berliner Weiss. It's from 450 North Brewing Company. It just came out today. Like you heard, Pineapple Express is supposed to be a weed pun because today is indeed 420, which is a Mariganja holiday. Is that correct?
I would say so.
It's like a jazz cabbage festival. Am I right? That's what's going on.
Legalize
today?
marinara.
Cool.
That's all I
Sweet. Awesome. So yeah, we drove down to 450 this morning for this epic release. And we've admittedly had it already, but it's going to be fun to talk about it with y'all folks. So, are we about bored? How are we feeling, guys? There's a lot going on. We've got a lot of folks tonight. It's a full house. We've got some alumni. This is Caleb's second time. It's good having him back. All right, you guys ready to give this Pineapple Express a shot?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All aboard.
Toot toot.
Cheers.
It's tasty.
Jess says, "Oh my holy fuck," and I can't help but agree.
That tastes like a pineapple lemon head.
This looks like lemonade.
It's great.
It's
just tart enough. It's not, so tart it's gonna make your lips pucker.
but it's pretty smooth still.
Oh, My yeah.
eyes light up. It was good.
Yeah.
A lot of flavor in this little bottle.
Very pineapple-y.
But not over the top. I'm usually not like a fan of eating the actual fruit of pineapple, like raw pineapple.
No, I could eat
But
raw pineapple all fucking day.
I like the flavor of it. I like the
Agreed.
flavor of it, but sometimes it's just a little too much, and this is spot on.
It's good. It's good.
This is amazing.
No, this almost tastes like, you ever had that Mexican fruit seasoning that people put on like pineapple and stuff?
Yeah.
It almost tastes like you threw some of that on a fresh pineapple and took a big old bite.
This was, of course, the one we were most excited to get.
It was.
I think it's just because they're using so much fruit that they always seem to make smaller batches of these Slurpee style. But yeah, we loaded up. We got more than enough of it. I'm still kind of overloaded with all the double cherries from. It was just last week, wasn't it?
It was. It was last Friday.
Seems like so long ago.
Yeah, I probably overdid it today. I
No.
probably bought a couple more than I needed to.
Oh, we'll find people that want.
Oh,
them.
I know.
It was a lot of fun. They had.
And this goes out to all you. I'm willing to sell some of them if you hear
Right.
this.
Fuck, if they're hearing this and you still got it, then.
No, I counted
That's gonna be
yesterday.
sad.
I still have four packs of the Citra Nuggets.
Oh shit! You did buy a case of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought a whole case of it, and I just been. And no, I bought a case and a half of it because
Oh,
I
shit.
bought
You
three
bought
off
the
of
full
Brett.
allotment.
I
Yeah.
got a full
Oh,
allotment
okay.
plus
right.
3 of Brett's.
That's
so,
right. That's right. I remember that now.
I've really had to tone it back because even just buying 1 4-pack a piece every release, that's still 12, 16, 20 beers every other week, and they're 16 ounces, so they fill the fridge up really fast.
Yeah. And a lot of these, they're a lot heavier in the alcohol content, so you
can't afford to
knock
just
a
slam
bunch
them.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get drunk.
The worst thing about the Slurpees is they tell you to drink them fresh. And I'm a hoarder. It's like I want to hold my best beers until that right moment. It's like you
I
can't
agree
afford to
with
wait
that.
that long. You just got to drink them.
Yeah, no. I still have 2 of the blackberry mangoes I need to drink.
Oh my!
I would love to
I
be
know.
around when that happened. Those were
I'm not joking, Jess.
those were fantastic.
Yes.
Maybe we can coax you into bringing those onto one of these future episodes.
Probably. I'm sure
It'd
that
be
could
fun if
happen.
we could somehow pull off like a best of, like if we were able to find some of the favorite beers that we've had.
I just drank my last juicy nuggets last night.
Yeah. I think Casey still has some of the fudge nuggets, and God
I've got
damn,
2 of those.
On point.
They're so good.
I've got 2 of those still.
I drank my last one that I was saving in a drunk stupor one night.
Oh, like how you described on an earlier episode where you'd get really drunk and be like, let's drink this badass beer.
A 2 a.m.
after
beer?
I'm trash.
Yeah, it's a 2 a.m. beer. It's like, Nick, you don't want to drink that. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. We finally today, the past couple releases, we've been bringing a cooler full of beer. And we've been bringing a Bourbon County that I got from this year. We brought it the past 2 times, and we haven't got to it. And today we finally drank it, and holy shit, it was pretty good.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was pretty smooth. It was a little smoother than I expected it to be.
It was real tasty. Yeah, I agree.
It was one of the 2017s. I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 of those left. And then I gave away one of the 2016s that I had to Mr. Jason Cook at Taze River as a what would you call it? Like a congratulations for opening up the tap room and stuff.
Nice.
So I brought in one of our vanilla bean bourbon stouts that we made for Thorax. I brought in one of those and we drank it, and everyone was pretty impressed. I was pretty excited about that.
I've got a 2016 Bitches Bank Barrel Massacre barrel aged bottle still. Maybe I'll bring that next time I can make it down.
That would be sweet. I really want to go climbing in that closet upstairs and try to find those Barrel Massacres that I've got, because I've got, I think, 12 bottles, but I don't remember what they are, because I did a good job, just putting them away and forgetting about them.
I love doing that.
Even
Well,
put
3
a
of them are
fucking
what?
bed in front of the door so I couldn't get in there if I wanted to. I found a way the other night when he was sleeping and I was trying to get in there for my Super Nintendo, and I made it happen, which is surprising because I'm at my, how nicely do I want to put this? The highest mass I've been in a minute, and I was still able to squeeze through the door.
He's been Cultivating mass.
Yes, yeah. But, because winter's been so long, it was an elongated winter. So instead of like 3 months, I've had 4 or 5 months to get to a ripe 190.
We're going to hop on the bike soon. We're going to start riding bikes.
I know. I totally
That'll
meant
be
to
enough.
the other day, but the moment I went outside, I was like, I'm just going to run. I'm going to run and see how it feels, and whew, it hurt.
Oh, man, I can't even run anymore.
It hurt the stomach and the lungs. And it wasn't fast. Like I know that I was going a little slower. It was probably an 11-minute, 12-minute mile. It wasn't my best, but it's the first one I've done, and
since we were doing it.
Yeah, so months ago, you know, before winter really hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost rode my bike here, but I wanted to bring Isis along, and I can't carry a 60-pound dog on my back while I'm riding my bike.
Nope.
No,
Doesn't work.
No,
not in this
Doesn't
condition.
work.
Maybe if
Figure
I
it out,
get
Austin.
to where I was when I was riding all the time, I could, but not right now.
Mass.
Cultivating mass.
You may not like it, but this is perfect form.
Got that dad bod.
This isn't even my final form.
I'm in dad mode right now. I've got a nice belly going on. Brett and Zach are gonna laugh because and Caleb, because I've already made the joke several times today. But after I did the run, I got back and I was like, well, that's all it took. I'm back to Herculean mode. I look like a fucking Greek statue.
Jacked.
And I seriously felt like it. Like I squeezed in, and I was like, there it is. And then, I took a shower and it wore off, and I was like, oh no, you're still fat. Like, you piece of shit.
But it gives you a very mysterious mountaineer look. Like the aesthetic is very on point.
Especially with the I've not rocked flannels much this year, but the flannel with the little belly going on.
If Brawny ever updated their logo with the Brawny Man,
I would be Mr.
the
Brawny.
Man.
I bet if we tried, we could find how he stands and make me take a picture and pose, and Jess could Photoshop it
easily,
and I could be the new Brawny Man.